A lot of shakeup going on in the NBA. Wonder where your favorite players are going to go. A lot of new destinations for great players. Wonder what happens there. Also, new segment coming on to No Off-Season Media. But we'll answer those questions right after this.
The package, what I really mean to say is, ain't no off-season.
As I said, welcome to No Off-Season Media. A lot of stuff shaking around in the NBA. Same thing with on this channel. But let's start with the channel first. We got a new segment here for this channel. It's called Crazy 8 Spread Picks. Now, what does that mean? We go exactly right through the NFL season. Basically going to give you what I believe is going to go right through the NFL week. Only going to pick 8 games that I predict that sports bettors should bet. Also, a lot of stuff shaking around in the NBA. Where's DeMar DeRozan going to go? What's happening in the Houston Rockets locker room? Also, is KD up to something in Brooklyn? Something interesting to think about. But let's start with the spread picks. We have the Eagles traveling to the New York Giants. And the Giants are 3-point underdogs. I got to take the underdog Giants here. They gave the Eagles matchup problems last couple times they played them. And it's been a very close game. Daniel Jones, he turns over the ball. Didn't do it last week. Looked pretty well against Washington. Is 4-0 against Washington. Carson Wentz is coming off a bye. Looking pretty great. I'm actually going to take the Eagles to win by 2. I like the Giants here. Like the number. Take the Eagles to win 24-22. Next, also this one. We had the Bucks playing against the Panthers. And now the everybody's writing the Bucks off like they're not a very good team because of Antonio Brown, possibility mess up the team chemistry, also with Tom Brady not playing well against the Saints. Well, let's think about this. The Panthers are the worst team in the league. Let's think about that, right? And also, the Panthers just lost Christian McCaffrey to a shoulder injury, and the Panthers defense is not so great. This is a get back to get the Bucks back on track in this game. And the Bucks are favored by 5.5. You have to take the Bucks in this spot. I'm sorry. Tom Brady will bounce back. That's what he does after ugly losses. That's what anybody else's team does when they come back of an ugly loss, unless you're the Jets. And so now I'm taking the Bucks to win, let's say 33-20. Some little 13 points, just a little get back right for the Bucks. They played the Panthers earlier. It wasn't really much of a game because Leonard Fournette scored the game-winning touchdown to beat the Bucks. But let's go to another one. We're going to travel to the desert. We're going to play the Buffalo Bills against the Cardinals. With this game, the Cardinals are favored. Just something interesting to take a look into about the Cardinals. The Cardinals just lost to the Dolphins last week. Pretty much should have won that game. Zane Gonzalez missed the game-tying field goal. Tua won the game, and that's what happened with the Cardinals. The Bills just came off their win against the Seahawks. Wow. 44 points on the Seattle defense. Seattle kind of struggles against that mobile quarterbacks, but Josh Allen had a day, had over 400 yards. I don't think he turned the ball over at all in that game. But the Cardinals are favored. I like the Cardinals here, especially at home with fans. Cardinals win 30-26. Next game, we have the Bengals and the Steelers, the rivalry of the AFC North. And with this one, just something interesting to look about. But here's my thing. The Steelers are favored by 7.5. I cannot take that number, and I'm going to tell you why. The Steelers, every time they beat the Bengals since 2016, since the last time they lost to them, they only beaten the Bengals in a marginal victory of 5. Do the math. The average victory for the Steelers is 5. So that tells me enough. Big Ben Roethlisberger, knee injury, not looking too well. This is not the same Bengals team you've seen before. Joe Burrow looks great. Has kind of struggled against great pass rushers. But overall, the Bengals are still a great overall team. I'm going to take the Steelers to win by 7. I can't take 7.5. I think they beat them by a touchdown. The half is what gets me. So I'm going to take the Steelers to win 27-20. Here's another one. We have another divisional rivalry game. We have the Seahawks and the Rams. In this game, the Seahawks came off a bad loss against the Buffalo Bills. The Rams, they just came off their bye week after losing a shellacking against the Miami Dolphins, Tua's first start. But the Seahawks tend to struggle always in LA. Now, could that be because they always put them on prime time? Could that also be the reason why? I think this is Russ gets back game. Russ has struggled against the Rams, especially in LA. But let's take a look about this. Russ is coming off a loss. So that kind of urges me to take Seattle here. And they always play these games down to the wire, especially in LA and especially in Seattle. But in this game, let me take the Seahawks to win this game. I know that the Rams are favorite. I'm going to take the underdog Seahawks. and the Seahawks win by 2, and they win 26-24. I think, I'm not saying this is a bad spot for the Rams, but their defense is very streaky. The 49ers, we have the 49ers traveling to New Orleans, the Big Easy, and they come off as 9.5-point underdogs. I'm going to take the underdog 49ers. I think 9.5 is way too many points. I still do not trust the Saints defense. I don't know what's happening with the 49ers offense. Nick Mullins looks better than Jimmy Garoppolo. We have seen that time and time again. But they're missing, who are they missing? They're missing George Kittle. And that's not going to help the Niners in their favor. But let's think about this. The Saints, whenever they come off a big victory, they kind of come down a little bit. And I think their defense is still a liability, even though they held Tom Brady and the Bucs to 3 points. I can't take that here. I think 49ers will keep this game a lot closer than people explain it to be. I have the Saints winning by a touchdown. Great day for Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, and Michael Thomas, 37-30. Also, we have the Chargers and the Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 2.5. Let's think about this. The Dolphins haven't played significantly well since Tua got in. We understand that. The Chargers, why do they keep losing all these one-possession games? Lost to the Raiders, lost to the Broncos, lost to the Bucs, lost to the Saints. You name it. All their losses are one possession. So what makes you tell them to take the Dolphins here? Dolphins have been playing significantly better for the past 2 weeks. And the thing is, I like how the way Miami's coming into. The defense playing significantly well. But the thing is, what do the Dolphins struggle against? Mobile QBs. So this is going to be a great game for the Chargers and Dolphins. Possibility going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But I have the Dolphins taking out outright. I think the Dolphins do win by what the number says. Dolphins win 33-30. And then we have Sunday Night Football. We have the Ravens traveling to the Patriots. And the Ravens are favored by 7.5. And in this game, I have to take the Ravens here. I don't like New England. They struggled against the Jets. I want them to lose, but they didn't lose to the Jets. That means it takes them out of the Trevor Lawrence / Trey Lance and even Justin Fields conversation. But I think the Ravens win outright because what does New England struggle against? The run. They struggle against mobile quarterbacks. We've seen that time and time and time again. So I'm going to take the Ravens to win by 10, 29-19. And that is my spread picks, my Crazy 8 spread picks. And if you want to know more, follow me on social media. I can give you more picks for bonus content. We're going to the NBA. And let's go to Houston. Reports came out that apparently Russell Westbrook has decided that he wants out of Houston. And that's very interesting because him and James Harden were like, I thought they were buddy and buddy. Am I might be wrong about that? Now, the thing is that with the Rockets, it could possibly be the coaching also. And they don't even have a coach. I didn't even have a GM. And then also we have to take account in for is that not only is James Harden the number one in ball possession, so was Russell Westbrook. So you have two guys on the exact same team that want the ball. And that's very hard. Why do you think they play small ball? It's because of Russell Westbrook. They trade Clint Capella over to the Hawks just to help Russell Westbrook get to the rim. And that has really kind of struggled for the Rockets. Now, if I'm the Rockets and I'm let's say I'm the GM of the Rockets, this is what I would do. And you might call me crazy, but it kind of makes sense just to think about it. You have to trade Russell Westbrook, right? What do you trade him for? Trade him to the 76ers, right? And if you trade him to the 76ers, you have a chance to get Joel Embiid. And the reason why I say you go try to get Joel Embiid is because, listen, we've seen the Rockets, how the way they struggle against Anthony Davis and the Lakers. And they also struggle to get the second best team, which is the Nuggets. They have Jokic. If you have to deal with Anthony Davis and Jokic at the exact same time, when you ever have to play them, and PJ Tucker's not going to do it. Let's be real. You have the best odds of getting to a championship with Joel Embiid. Yes, he's injury prone. Yes, he is. But Harden is there, and he can score as many threes you want to. And you have Embiid, who can dunk the ball, shoot in the post, do whatever he needs to do. So it's just something interesting to take account of for. You trade Westbrook for Joel Embiid. And how does that help out the 76ers? Think about this. You have Shake Milton. That's great. Then you have Russell Westbrook. That's your number ones. Your number twos, you got Josh Richardson. We know that. Number three. Then you have, from your number 3 position, you have Tobias Harris. Good. Okay, great. Here we go. Then at the 4, you put Ben Simmons. Right? Then you at the 5, you have Al Horford. That's a pretty stacked team. So that helps both teams via trade. So, I mean, the 76ers will continue to get better. Ben Simmons is still working on his jump shot, shooting threes. That's great. Ben Simmons is still a great player. But you have to think about what's going to happen for this team. And my thing is, you have to trade away Joel Embiid. I know he's a franchise player, but Simmons is more of a franchise player for the 76ers, in my opinion. But that's what you have to take account in for. Also, with the Rockets, you have a new head coach. You can possibly have the best head coach coming out of college basketball. Just think about it. I don't know who is coming as the coach for the Rockets. I haven't seen any names come up, but it's something interesting to take account in for, to look for. But the Rockets, I mean, I wouldn't coach the Rockets. I wouldn't do it. They don't have a bench. They don't. I mean, who are you gonna? It's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked on the Rockets, and I don't think the Rockets are a 2-year process of getting back to the finals or the conference finals, to be exact. So just something interesting to take a look in for. But let's talk about somebody else. Let's talk about Harden's former teammate, and let's talk about CP3. Now with CP3, everybody just loves CP3 all of a sudden. Now the reports came out that the Suns want him. And the reports came out that the Lakers want him. And the reports came out that the Clippers wanted him. And then now reports came out that the 76ers wanted him. And I know exactly why everybody wants him. And he has connections with each and every of these teams. Let's start with the Suns. The Suns make sense because the Suns need a second shooter. DeAndre Ayton is very great. Don't get me wrong. He can be a great all-star one day. They have Devin Booker. Okay, Devin Booker obviously needs help. He can't keep carrying the Suns. Also, Chris Paul can be a great mentor to push the Suns over that limit. Now, Monty Williams and Chris Paul do know each other. And Monty Williams, they played very hard with Monty Williams. Will you tell me Chris Paul's not going to do the same? So, just take a look into it. I mean, just take a look. Helps out the mentorship for the Suns. Helps Devin Booker. And can possibly give him a playoff push. So let's just think about that. The Clippers, Kawhi Leonard called him up. Now, what's up with the Clippers? Kawhi Leonard is obviously, he won the MVP. Secondly, also you have to realize is that this is Chris Paul's former team. And now since he lives in LA, it kind of makes sense that he would go to the Clippers because he lives in LA. He has a mansion wherever he lives in LA. And also Kawhi Leonard potentially could push him over the hump. And the Clippers need a point guard. Think about it. Also, the 76ers. Why are everybody making connections with him, the 76ers? Well, think about it. Who was his former head coach? Doc Rivers. He is the head coach of the 76ers. So, and then also the Lakers. Well, we already know how he can go to Lakers. LeBron is obviously, he's been friends with him all the time. So, LeBron and CP3 are friends. So, there's always different type of connections when it comes to these teams. And now here's a question. What team will have the best chances of getting CP3? And in my case, if I'm CP3, I will eliminate the Suns. I mean, if you want to go to I just eliminated the Suns. I will eliminate the Clippers. I can't listen, why go to the Clippers if you have to battle LeBron? Think about it. If you're trying to win a ring or do something, why battle LeBron? So it leaves you with two teams. The 76ers and the Lakers. Well, we'll get on the Lakers on the second. But the 76ers, you have your old head coach there. All you have to worry about is Giannis and possibly the Celtics and the Raptors. You don't have to worry about the West because the West is too difficult. We already know that. But if you want to go somewhere, CP3, you would go to the 76ers or the Lakers. And the reason why I would say, and the thing is, I wouldn't say the Lakers right now, is because the Lakers, it depends what's going to do with KCP. What they're going to do with KCP, I'm hearing some other rumors that I'll allude to later. I'll get to later about the Lakers. But I'm hearing some other rumors. But I will go to 76ers. Not only go to Philadelphia, you go to a big market city. You get to play with Ben Simmons, who's also a shooter. Al Horford, who can shoot threes. You have Tobias Harris. And then you got Josh Richardson, who can, just shoot threes and take it to the basket. Think about it. The 76ers are the best chance for CP3 to go to. So that's what I would do. But let's go off CP3 and let's talk about the Lakers. Because we need to get to Lakers. The Lakers, why I think they won't get CP3 is because they're making a trade right now. Potentially, I'm not sure if it's legit right now, if this is going to go through. DeMar DeRozan to the Lakers. For who? Now, these are the players. You have Kyle Kuzma and Danny Green. Now, why would I think that those two would mesh well with one another? Well, think about it. Greg Popovich wanted Kyle Kuzma in the draft. We know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. Also, Danny Green played for Popovich, had one of his best careers for the Spurs. Think about that as well. Got traded when Kawhi went to Toronto, got a trade for DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan does not like it in San Antonio. I seen that. We seen that. We all have seen that. So, what's next? Could the trade go through? Yes. Now, will he become the third scorer on the Lakers? Yes, and it helps significantly well for the Lakers. But let's think about this. Think about how this roster is going to be set up. Number one, you put Avery Bradley if you continue to have Avery Bradley there. The number 2 position, you put DeMar DeRozan right there. Number 3, you put LeBron, obviously. Number 4, you obviously put Anthony Davis because he could play the 5, but he'll play the 4. And then the 5, you put JaVale McGee. So let's think about that as far as Lakers. That's a very stacked team. And then you have Caruso, and then you have Rondo. Maybe Rondo comes back. Who knows about Rondo? I'm hearing some logic that potentially Rondo's gone. I don't know. But Lakers, I mean, this is a great deal for both sides. And potentially how the way Popovich plays, I think it helps Kuzma in the end because Kuzma does not have to fit LeBron's system because LeBron's system does not help for young players. We've seen that time and time again in Cleveland and Miami. But I think going to a new organization for Kyle Kuzma does help Kuzma. Even though he potentially might be a backup, but I think it still helps Kuzma in the end. Now, overall, let's talk about DeMar DeRozan's former teammate, and it's Serge Ibaka. Now, Serge Ibaka, I've been hearing some rumors that he could potentially go to a handful of teams, but with Serge Ibaka, you have to realize this. Serge Ibaka is obviously a veteran. We know that. So he obviously wants to go to a veteran team. So we're going to disclose all the teams that are really young. So what does that leave us with? We have the Knicks, the Clippers, the Raptors, and the Lakers, right? Potentially if he goes back to the Raptors. Now, why did I say the Brooklyn Nets? Former teammate is playing for the Nets. KD gives him a call. Says, hey, bro, you want to come play with us? You know, KD and him went back all the way back into Oklahoma City days. Also, the Clippers, Kawhi. Kawhi was over there in Toronto. They say, hey, man, come over here and play for the Clippers. The Lakers, who don't want to play with LeBron? That's just what it is. Who doesn't want to play with LeBron? So there's a handful of teams that can pick up Serge Ibaka. Now, what team that I potentially see him with? I mean, the Clippers, potentially. I would love to see him with the Clippers. Not really going to do much over there with the Clippers. I think he can go to Brooklyn. And call me crazy. I think he can go to Brooklyn because he would do everything with KD. They get back in the Oklahoma City days. They don't have their own Westbrook, but that's Kyrie Irving who shoot the threes and drive to the basket. Better than Westbrook. And then you have KD who's coming off an injury, potentially looking a lot better, pre-injury. And then you have Jared Allen, and then you have DeAndre Jordan. So you have a lot of pieces to work around with. So you can potentially put Baca at the 4. You could put KD at 3. Just, how the way to work the team. And it kind of fits, Ibaka's places because they do need a lot more 3-point shooters because think about it. 3-point centers are the new face of the league. So that's what you could take account in for. But on my last topic, let's go back to Westbrook. Now, let's think about this with Westbrook. What team has the best chance of signing him? And I mean, I did say 76ers, but let's count. That's just my prediction. Let's just count that out. Now, we're down to 4 teams here with Westbrook. Knicks, Clippers, Pistons, and then Hornets. Now, with this one, it's kind of tricky. Now, with the Knicks, Russell Westbrook fits the Knicks because the Knicks are very dysfunctional, and Russell Westbrook preferred to be in a very winnable market. And New York is like one of the best markets ever. Even though you have to go against KD and Kyrie and potentially the Boston Celtics and whoever, The Knicks will be a good spot for him because they have a center, Michael Robinson, who can, shoot it from the post. Also, then the Clippers. The Clippers, to me, do not make any sense whatsoever. They need 3-point shooters. They don't need a guy who can just take it up to the basket. They already have that in Paul George and Kawhi. They're fine. Take the Clippers out. We can just go ahead and take the Clippers out. This is report. Just take the Clippers out. The Pistons make sense. And the reason why the Pistons make sense because they need a point guard anyways. So they have already Thon Makers on that team. Then they have Blake Griffin on that team. I know they just traded Andre Drummond for Christian Wood. But you have to think about what you have to count in for as far as this team. So the Pistons do make sense because they just need a point guard anyways. I mean, even though they have Derrick Rose, put Rose at the 2. You're fine there. So, and then last one's the Hornets. Now, I only say the Hornets because the Hornets point guard is Terry Rozier. I can't take him seriously. But I think the only way he goes to the Hornets is because he wants to endorse the Jordan brand. That's the only way I would see him going there. But 4 destinations for Westbrook. Which one's the most likely? The Knicks. Less likely, the Clippers. I don't see him going to the Clippers. You can just etch that out. So, that's it for No Off-Season Media. I enjoyed you guys going over some Crazy 8 spread picks. New edition. This is a lot of sports action with Amari Jackson. That's what I love to call it. Sports action with Amari Jackson. And then, we got the NBA coming up and picking up steam. Love to see the draft. Oh, who's going to pick LaMelo Ball? That's something interesting to take. Who's going to take Anthony Edwards? It's a lot. Thinking about got 2 for 1. Finally going to pick up on the MLB as soon as season starts. But we got NFL, NBA. This is where it's going to start. This is how the way this channel's going to start. Is how the way it's going to end. All sports action with Amari Jackson from No Off Season Media. I will catch you guys later. It's been fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And if you want to know more about spread picks from our bettors out there, reach out to me on social media. Instagram, No Off Season Media. Reach out. And same thing with Twitter, No Off Season News. So reach out to me. But I'll catch you guys later. This is from No Off Season Media. Peace.